Lastly, we'll move into our final main story, and that is that the PS5 Pro has been confirmed. The leaks and rumors are officially done. Dates and prices are out there, so let me catch you guys up on what's going on with it. And this comes to us from the PlayStation blog, and it says, PS5 Pro fits perfectly within the PS5 family of products and is compatible with the PS5 accessories currently available, including PlayStation VR 2, PlayStation Portal, DualSense Edge, Access Controller, Pulse Elite, and Pulse Explorer. The user interface and network services will also remain the same as PS5. The PS5 Pro console will be available this holiday at manufacturer's suggested retail price of $699 USD, 699 pounds, 799 euros, and 119,000 yen. It will include a 2 terabyte SSD, a DualSense wireless controller, and a copy of Astro's Playroom pre-installed in every PS5 Pro purchase. PS5 Pro is available at a diskless console with the option to purchase the currently available disk drive for PS5 separately, which I believe is at $79.99.
And stand. Does not come with a stand.
And the vertical stand. PS5 Pro will launch on November 7th, 2024, and will be available at participating retailers and directly from PlayStation at direct.playstation.com. Pre-orders will begin on September 26th, 2024. Now, the story is going around everywhere, and everybody is pretty much outraged at the price. So, Andrew, start me off. Everything it has, it's coming out soon. Walk me through your thoughts, sir.
I had like a kind of almost like gut punch at like the price. I'm like, if you have a PS5, why would you upgrade to this? I mean, we'll get, I guess, into the little like 10-minute thing, but I mean, I've seen a lot of people. I wrote down some notes here too. So 2013, the PS4 launched at $399. 2016, the PS4 Pro launched at $399. You drop the price of the base console, the Pro console now becomes the top tier console. PS5 Digital's at $399, the PS5 Pro $799. No disc, no stand, no nothing. And I think what's even worse about this is those discs, because of the rumors of this, were already kind of hard to get. That you're already seeing they're sold out, and there's already scalpers everywhere. I seen a post for it on eBay earlier for $500 for that USB
Who the fuck wants
the
it?
disc. So if you are somebody who wants physical media, I thought that was funny too, because someone made a meme. It said for their thing, play has no limits unless you want physical. And so I thought that was pretty funny. But if you're somebody who wants physical games, who's invested in a physical library, it's going to cost you an extra $100. And that was my big thing. I'm like, I can understand paying for a premium console. I guess I get it. I kind of maybe more took this as, I wonder if they're, because this isn't like a necessary purchase, I wonder if I took this as like them maybe treading water. Like, let's just put this out here. It's not like we're in deep shit like kind of Microsoft is right now. And we're treading water with pricing for the PlayStation 6.
Yeah. I look at this as a lot of people are complaining about this price. And it's just like, for me, I don't get why. Because there's two different things. There's mainly the people complaining about the price. Mainly, generally speaking, are people that don't have a PS5. Mainly people that are complaining about this are people that don't have a PlayStation 5. So every time I look at this, like, I'm not going to buy one. It's like, okay, well, this isn't for you. You need to remember, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, go get a basic PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 Pro is built for the diehard player. The player that already has a PS5, loves it, and wants to upgrade theirs. Because, like, if I wanted to go get it, I'm going to trade in my PS5. They're currently sitting, I called earlier at a GameStop, they're trading in for $195. That's $200 off that price. That PS5 Pro just became $500. So it's what a lot of people are complaining about is like, this isn't for you. This is for the people that are the diehard elites. And Sony knows what they're doing with their consoles. Like, yeah, it might come out expensive, but Sony sells consoles. They always have. They're the number one selling console of all time with what they have. And when you look at people that are complaining about it, it's like they're not understanding that this is for people that want to get in. Because one of the things that they're going to do with this is they're going to, like, so right now when you boot up a game, a lot of people, you look at performance and you look at fidelity. This game is going to eliminate that. It's going to run the games at the best possible way you can. If that doesn't interest you, then simply don't buy it and get a PS5. This isn't for the first time buyer of a PS5 Pro. And I don't think a lot of people are looking at it, because every time I see it, they're like, oh, I'm not going to buy one. I'm like, but do you have one? Because if you don't have one, then this is not for you. Does that make sense at all? Or do you see that angle? Or?
Yeah, or even still, there's some people I'm sure had a PS4, could play whatever games they wanted to. Now would be your time to jump in and not get the PS5. I think, and I agree with you, because we're somebody who's in the gaming, so we like to get whatever the next best thing is. This makes more sense than Xbox has already said that they're not going to have a Pro console, but they have another Series X coming out that's a 2 terabyte that is, I think, that is like $600, which makes no sense, especially when you can get the little upgrade thing, like the memory card. Like, I have one. Like, I don't understand the point of that other console, but I just think what they really didn't do was really show off the power of like what this could do, because they even said like 75% of people, this is their words too, chose performance over fidelity, and this is supposed to eliminate, again, like you said, eliminate having to make that choice. But at the same time, there's still gonna be they did say there's still gonna be games out there running at 30 FPS 4K. You have to take into consideration that it's not just on them. It's up to the developer and how good they make the game and how good they utilize the power. I just don't think they did a good job showing it, because they're really focusing on like, wow, look at this water shimmering, or look at how good this thing is out in the distance when you're standing here instead of what's immediately in front of you. I don't think that's what was enticing. I think what would have been better is like, here's this game running at this FPS and here it is running together, but show it a lot better, versus they showed it briefly for I think The Last of Us 2, or I think what was a little more egregious was, here's Ratchet and Clank doing it, and they're doing it side by side, and here's Ratchet Clank on the PS5 Pro. And like, look how choppy it looks. I'm like, look how choppy it looks. You thought that was a great game to launch whatever, so now you're kind of shit-talking the game that people already bought, purchased, and played. So that almost felt like a backhanded like compliment in a way. So I think, and there's a couple people out there who I guess have gotten a hands-on preview that have said like playing it, like the new Final Fantasy or Rebirth, it's like a night and day difference. I think that would have been more the thing to do, is get people in there, maybe some of these outlets or something like that, and have them send some games or have some footage, at least 2 minutes, not here's 10 seconds of me running, here's 10 seconds of you running, something. Show me some extended gameplay. Show me Ratchet and Clank with a million things blowing up in the distance, not him jumping left to right. Yeah. Show me all the particles going off at once and how it makes the frame rate on that kind of tank, or this doesn't. Or show Final Fantasy VII running together, because I'm sure there maybe was some parts of that game that had a lot going on there.
Oh, no, that game ran, a lot of people say that game ran real kind of sluggish, and yeah, again, one of the things on this would be like the elimination of that, but like, yeah, you didn't show off the power of it.
Yeah, show that off, not look at this steel beam in the background. Look how straight that looks.
Yeah, because again, I'm not advocating that this thing should be that expensive. I'm just saying I get why it's that expensive. I'm not saying this thing should be really coming out at all. And the fact that it is, I think you were saying earlier, so I think this is more of a window gauging of what's going to happen. Because again, this isn't a new system, so it does seem a lot for like a 1.5 system of it.
Right.
But it is going to show what the consoles are going to start being capable of. Because you got to also remember, we don't know how cheap it is to be making these things. I mean, if the Xbox is running at $600, maybe it's eating the cost of the hardware. But
I think they tried doing that on IGN today.
Yeah, these things get more expensive.
They couldn't build a PC at this price for what this could do at that price. And I hate you see the people in the comments like, "Well, just spend $300 more." People are already complaining about spending this. Why would they spend $300 more?
Yeah,
even though you can do more with the PC at that point.
And I understand the argument with the disc drive, but I had to look at just from my point of view. So when I bought my PS5, I ordered the digital version for $399. They ran out of it and they upgraded me to the disc one. Which
I was going to say, didn't you get a deal?
Yeah, which was the $500 one. And I was like, oh, cool. If I've got the disc, if I need it. I look back, I've never put a disc in my PS5. You know, my biggest problem is running out of memory. The PS5 sits at 825 gigabytes with the user only accessing 667. If the PS5 Pro is going to cost a little bit more, it has 2 terabytes.
Did it?
So yes, but it's not going to have a disc drive. For me, and again, if you live in the physical world, and I do, I have physical stuff. I love it. I'm saying it should be eradicated. It's cool that it's a separate piece. But I have a disk drive. I've never used it. What I want is memory. And if they're moving in the direction of going, let's sacrifice what nobody used and statistically proven, disc becomes lower and lower and lower, but digital becomes the new thing. Well, guess what digital needs constantly? Memory.
I think that's what that new Series X even was too. Is a diskless.
It's a 2 terabyte at $600. This one's 2 terabyte at $699. But it's like, I'll take that sacrifice all day. And if you really need the disc, it's $80. But so from my point of view, I'm like, I think they're sacrificing what eventually will be sacrificed on everything. So again, I don't think the PS5 Pro price point, it's a lot, but I don't think it doesn't need to be getting all this like bashing and hating on it. It's like, if that's not right for you, simply don't buy it. And if you don't have a PS5, go get the one that's going to be $450 in 3 months.
Yeah, I'll say this makes more sense to me than that diskless Series X console does.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the like extreme hate that it's getting. But I could understand if you're like, you know what, it's not for me, maybe it's too pricey or whatever, having a casual conversation, sure, I could understand that. Sure. But saying, this makes no sense, it won't roll, blah, 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 then no. But I do think Sony does have to take some fault on the chin, though, for not making those, if you want the disc drive, making that, the fact that there's a shortage and now it's another scalper's market.
I see one right now for Walmart available.
I was looking at it earlier, and they said unless they've restocked, they were sold out earlier when I was looking at like noon.
Yeah, Walmart's the only one though. Everything else is out. So.
But I will say the biggest negative to come out of this too, no Concord upgrade. So you will not be playing that at 60 FPS.